We're back for our MLB Best Bets here on Sunday, August 10th. We've got all 30 teams playing today in Major League Baseball, and again, we have found our 5 best bets for this slate. Before we get into the video, folks, make sure to hit that subscribe button down below for some more daily MLB Best Bets here on the channel. A week from tomorrow will be our first college football predictions video of the year. We're going to have college football best bets on top of that, NFL best bets, NFL predictions, and NFL best player props weekly as well. So make sure to join us later in the month and in September for that here on the channel. Of course, college basketball and the NBA follows up right after that, and obviously we are still locked into the MLB all the way through the World Series. So again, make sure to hit that subscribe button down below for more of that. On Greedo Plays MMA this week, we've got a stacked week on Greedo Plays MMA. The headliner, UFC 319. One of the biggest fights, if not the biggest fight of the year, UFC 319, Dricus du Plessis, Khamzat Chimaev for the middleweight championship. Also, we will have our PFL finals predictions, Alfie Davis versus Gadzi Rabadanov in the main event this week for the Professional Fighters League. And we are also starting our Dana White's Contender Series predictions on Tuesday morning. Make sure to check that out. So Sunday UFC, Monday PFL, Tuesday Contender Series, early on Tuesday Contender Series. Make sure to check out our videos for all of those fight cards this week on Greedo Plays MMA. Okay, on to the first of our 5 best bets today for the MLB, kicking things off with our first money line. I'll just get this out the way right now. I cut out the Nerfy this week, or today. I just did, all right? It hasn't been going our way. So we're going to go 3 money lines instead. I think we see a little more success going money lines. This is the first of 3, and then plus the Nationals bet. We'll get to that. First bet of the day, I'm going Cincinnati Reds money line in Pittsburgh. So again, it's even odds, minus 110. I am going with Cincinnati. This is going to be the 4th game of this set. Pittsburgh won the first 2. It was a Paul Skeens victory the first night, a 3-2 victory for the Pirates on Friday, and then yesterday a 2-1 win for Cincinnati. Today, the Reds look to split against the Pirates, and it is a much-needed victory today for the Reds. They need to get this, because we just look, and I don't want to talk too much about the standings, but I do think it applies, so hear me out. Look at the way the New York Mets are playing today. I don't get to dunk on the Mets today. I'm not going to talk about the Mets. They don't have a best bet. The Mets suck right now. The Mets have lost 6 in a row. They've lost 9 out their last 10 games, or 10 out their last 11 games, I believe. The Reds are still 2.5 games back to playoffs. And we'll talk about the Giants and even the St. Louis Cardinals. Both those teams are only 4 games out as well. The Marlins have been sucking recently, but they're only 6 games back. But likely, right, it's just the Reds really who have a chance. But Giants and Cardinals still have outside chances if the Mets continue to play this poorly. Now, it's a given. The Mets will be better, but it is important for the Reds that you have to come out of Pittsburgh with a split. Especially you're a team that's 4 games over, and Pittsburgh is 16 under. You need to come out of here with a split by any means. And I think they're in a good position to do so today. Pitching matchup is Zach Lytle and Mike Burrows. For the former Tampa Bay Ray and Lytle coming into this game with a 3.46 ERA. He's made 1 start so far as a member of the Cincinnati Reds. Went to Wrigley Field, went 7 innings, 3 hits, and 1 run. So far, so good as a member of the Big Red Machine. The opposing pitcher today is Mike Burrows. And by the way, Lytle's last start with the Rays was great as well in the Bronx. 5 innings, 2 hits, 0 runs. So he's been lights out in his last 12 innings. He's given up just 1 run. Mike Burrows, the opposing pitcher today for Pittsburgh, the righty out of Waterford, Connecticut with a 4.45 ERA. This is a guy who had a really brilliant end to the month of July. Started off the month of August, though, not all that hot. At home against the San Francisco Giants, Burrows went 4 2/3 innings, 5 hits, 6 runs. It was the second of back-to-back starts against San Francisco, as his last start of July was at Oracle Park. In an extra innings victory for Pittsburgh, we had Pirates plus 1.5 that day. Burrows went 6 innings, 3 hits, 1 run, but again, did not replicate that performance at home in Pittsburgh. He got blown up in his next start. So we'll see, because it's been a mixed bag out of Mike Burrows. He'll have great starts, like that Giant start in July. He had a really good start prior to that against the Arizona Diamondbacks, but then he'll have his really bad starts as well. Had a horrific start at Target Field against the Minnesota Twins, where he went 4 outs, 5 hits, 6 runs. It's just a complete mixed bag. Now, I get it. This is a Cincinnati Reds versus Pittsburgh Pirates game. That means there's not going to be a lot of scoring. Yesterday's final score, 2-1, obviously, right? Cincinnati barely scraped by. Mlb Marte had 3 doubles in that game, surprisingly enough. And the Reds actually won with Nick Martinez on the mound, which is really hard for them to do. But don't expect a high-scoring game. But where we're looking at this spot is who can scrape across runs more effectively. Will it be the Reds against Mike Burrows or the Pirates against Zach Lytle? I think it's going to be the Reds against Mike Burrows, okay? It's no secret, I think the Pirates lineup sucks. Trust me, we go through this dilemma every 5th day when Paul Skeens is on the mound and we are tempted to pick Pirates money line. The Reds lineup isn't much better, I completely understand, but there are guys who can come through in spots. Obviously, Elly De La Cruz. You look at a guy like Gavin Lux, who's very often on this season. TJ Friedel has produced at the leadoff spot this year for Cincinnati. Hell, he drove in the game-winning run. I know it was in the 7th inning, but it was a sacrifice fly that scored to Mlb Marte. Friedel hit into right field, again scores Marte, ends up getting the Reds the victory 2-1, right? He's been productive. Marte, right, yesterday, very productive, 3 for 4. And obviously, this has been the return series for Ke'Bryan Hayes to PNC Park in Pittsburgh. Ke'Bryan Hayes is just, he's very mid. Defensively, he's all right, I guess. I think it's a great spot for the Reds, though. Again, you look at the grand scheme of things here. Cincinnati's legitimately playing for their season right now. The Mets have left the door wide open for Cincinnati. They 100% have. And the Reds need to start playing like the Cleveland Guardians are right now. They need to play like the other Ohio baseball team. The Guardians are scratching and clawing for life and death right now to try to catch up to the New York Yankees. And they are right there, you know? That can be the Reds too. You got 2 Ohio teams chasing the final wild card spot against 2 big market New York teams. I'm sure the MLB is ecstatic that the Reds and Guardians are making the chase and the climb right now. But I do believe the Reds are going to get this. I like Lytle in the matchup over Burrows. I don't like the Pirates lineup. It's not good. Tommy Pham and Isaiah Kiner-Falefa are their best hitters, and Andrew McCutchen. It's an unction in Pittsburgh. I think we're going to be all right today. Give me Cincinnati Reds money line to start off the day. -110 for the Reds to close the series in Pittsburgh. We move on to our second best bet of the video. Let's go to our second money line of the day. Again, we talk about Ohio teams chasing big market New York teams. Here's the American League's version, the Cleveland Guardians chasing the New York Yankees. I am taking Cleveland Guardians money line today at -135. Now, the Nerfy yesterday, that's why we're staying away from the Nerfy today. I replaced it actually with this game. Stephen Kwan gets on, and then Kyle Manzardo drives Kwan in the first inning. Thanks, White Sox. Their Nerfies used to be really reliable earlier in the season. Now, their pitching just gives up runs. We're hoping the same exact thing happens today. Give me the Guardians. They are the hottest team in baseball. And the Guardians in late June, it was, if I'm not mistaken, were the coldest team in all of baseball. Hell, this is the team that's been at the center of the, sports gambling problem right now, at least in the bigs, with Luis Ortiz, with Emmanuel Clase, and yet this team is still 6 games over 500. And again, we talk about the standings. I believe they're only a half game back of the New York Yankees. Yeah, it's a half game back. The Rangers are in the picture as well. Texas is 2.5 back, but Cleveland's the team to watch out for right now. And another team you got to watch out for, too, is the Astros, and maybe how they fall out. I don't know. Because the Mariners are right on their ass. Seattle's a half a game out of the division lead. Anyways, the Guardians are making the climb right now. And it is hard to beat a baseball team 3 consecutive times. It's hard to sweep any team. However, Cleveland's in a spot where they need to win as many games as possible. And guys, they have a very favorable schedule. Look at what they have for the rest of August. Don't want to get too carried away here, but they get the Marlins up next, where Miami's got great hitting. Their pitching's horrendous, except for Yuri Perez. Then they get the Braves, who, but they get Miami and Atlanta at home. They go to Arizona, which we'll see. And they go to Texas, which will be a huge series. And then Tampa at home. Don't get me wrong, their September gets difficult. Mariners, Red Sox, Tigers twice in there. They do have a White Sox series and Royals series still left in September. But if you're the Guardians, right, you got to win as many games as possible right now in August, because there will be some tough matchups coming up in September. A game like this, I know it's not the biggest of deals. It doesn't feel like it on paper that, the Guards have won 5 in a row. Yeah, you got to make it 6 here. You got to make it 6, and you got to, again, come out of this White Sox series 3 games ahead of where you're at coming into it. Again, this is just baseball, but it's simple, right? If they only win 2 of 3, right? The Guards have done a great job winning the first 2 in Chicago. Hell, they swept the Mets right before, right? The Gavin Williams game where he took the no-hitter in the 3rd innings into that game. But it's just baseball. You lose today, okay, you look great in the first 2 games of the series. You're only a game ahead of where you're at coming into Chicago. You win this game, though, now you're 3 games better than you were coming into Chicago. And obviously we'll see what happens in Yankees-Astros today. Yankees lose today. All right, boom, Guardians are back in the playoffs for now. A team that looked dead in the water just 3 weeks ago. I mean, at the deadline, this team, I think the low point of the season for them was probably the big losing streak. But hell, when they lost that first game against Colorado, the day that Emmanuel Clase got placed on, investigation, it looked like the world was crashing down. That was the warming Brennaball game. the TikTok edit. They were, oh, we're giving up home runs to this guy. Like, they've bounced back. They've lost one game since that meltdown that they had on July 28th. And it was a 1-run loss last Sunday against the Twins. You look at this matchup today, Slade Sassoni gets the ball for Cleveland, and Davis Martin gets the ball for Chicago. All right, well, Slade's been all right. Slade's going to give up runs, but he's going to give you a quality start. That's the thing. He's going to go deep into his starts. I mean, Slade since July has gone 6 innings in every start. And in over half of those, he's gone 7 or more. 3.72 ERA. This is a solid pitcher. Last outing in New York against the Mets, Slade goes 6 innings, 4 hits, and 3 runs. Only 2 of them, however, were earned. Davis Martin goes today for the White Sox. I'm done pumping up the White Sox rotation. I just am, I go to bat for Jonathan Cannon. I go to bat for Shane Smith. I go to bat for Sean Burke. I go to bat for all of these guys. I'm done. I'm done doing it. I've been hyping these guys up the entire season, and when I need them, they don't come through for me. Okay, Davis Martin hasn't actually been one of the guys I've been pumping up. Martin's last start against the Mariners was bad. It was really bad. 5 innings, 7 hits, 6 runs. Martin's been up and down this season in terms of being on the major league club. He's come back. His last 3 starts haven't been all that great. Rays, 5 innings, 3 hits, 4 runs. 3 runs. Phillies, 5 2/3, 6 hits, 2 runs. Not a bad start. And then obviously that Mariners start we just talked about. Davis Martin's going to give up runs, and there's going to be opportunities for the Guardians to score. I get it. The Guardians lineup, through their really bad parts this year, they were horrible. And even yesterday, they only scored 3 runs. But at the same time, the White Sox bats are horrendous right now. Nobody's hitting for Chicago. The Guards are going to find ways to plate runs. They just need Kwan to be productive. They need Ramirez to be productive, and they need to find other hits through other bats throughout the lineup, and they kind of are. Manzardo's coming through. Brian Rocchio's been okay recently. Like, they've got guys right now, man. They do, and the Guardians are playing hot baseball, right? They have won 8 of 9, 9 of 10 since July 28th, when it looked like everything was falling down for this team. You thought Kwan was getting traded. Clase gets busted for gambling, and now look at them. They're a half game out the postseason behind the multi-billionaire, okay, that's a little too far, behind the billion-dollar Yankees. Hell yeah, small market baseball, right? Give me the Cleveland Guardians today, -135 to go to Chicago, Illinois, and beat the White Sox. I believe they have what it takes to get it done. They need to find the sweep here in Chicago, and I think they get it. Let's move on to our third best bet of the video. Let's go to our daily Washington Nationals best bet. I am going to go with Washington Nationals money line yet again. I know I'm going Nationals money line for 3 straight days. However, it hit yesterday, okay? I said yesterday they had to turn it around eventually, and they did. And also Brad Lord is a big reason I took Nats money line. Well, the Nats won yesterday, and I'll get into James Wood in a little bit because James Wood was the big story yesterday for the Washington Nationals in San Francisco. But Nats win. And today they turn the ball over, or they give the ball to Mackenzie Gore. I understand. Mackenzie Gore's last 4 out of his last 5 starts have been pretty bad. But I said this last week, and I will say it again. I'm not even going to say if there was ever a time. No. Mackenzie Gore needs to pitch well today. It's a must. He has to pitch well. After what happened in the A's game, what happened in Houston, what happened at home against San Diego. And sure, he had a gritty start in Minnesota in between those. But post-All-Star game, Mackenzie Gore has been one of the worst starting pitchers in baseball. Love the guy. His jersey is... Oh, my chair turned right there. Love the guy. His bobblehead's up there, too. One of my favorite players. But he's been horrendous. If he can't figure it out against the Giants, we have a problem. If he can't figure it out against this god-awful lineup that San Francisco has, we need a phantom IL stint. It's just the truth. I'm so serious. If Gore loses us the game today or just doesn't have a good game, walks guys around the bases, gets hit up by the Giants, get this guy on the IL. Don't bring him back until September. I'm so serious. Just make up an injury. You can, don't even say it's arm soreness. Just say, he tweaked his knee. He'll be back in September. I'm so serious. If he does not pitch well today, just give him a phantom IL stint and forget about it for a little bit. When is Josiah Gray coming back? I ask this all the time. Anyways. I think Gore will turn around, though, again against the Giants because the Giants don't hit the baseball well. And Mackenzie Gore's last start against the Giants in May, he went 6 innings, 2 hits, and 1 run. Oh, and on top of this, Justin Verlander is pitching today. So I get to witness Justin Verlander in person today. I've seen Justin Verlander pitch before, and actually, the one time I saw Verlander start, it was in D.C., and he actually shut down the Nationals. That was just last year. Wow. Crazy what happens in the span of a year. Yeah, I don't trust Unk. Obviously, we fade Unk Justin Verlander. He's been my favorite Unk to fade this season, so we're gonna keep doing it. I know the numbers actually say that Verlander's been a lot better than they may suggest. I mean, 4.29 ERA. They're better than the numbers suggest he's better than he looks. His last 2 starts were good, but his last 2 starts were against the Pirates, and before that, the Braves. I know the Nationals are pretty pitiful as well, but guys. The Nats were hitting the ball yesterday. James Wood hits a home run. Paul DeYoung hits a home run. Josh Bell hits a home run. I believe Josh Bell tweaked his hamstring. He's probably out for a couple weeks. To watch Nathaniel Lowe today. However, I think they're going to do solid against Justin Verlander. We have a bunch of lefties in the lineup. We're going to make Unk work today. Okay? And on top of that, James Wood's back. But yeah, we're taking Nats. Plus 120. I think it's a great spot. Gore has to bounce back here. And JV's going for the Giants. About James Wood, though. James Wood's back. All it took was getting the guy in California. 2 monster nights back-to-back against the Giants. I mean, almost hits a home run on Friday night at Oracle Park. And then yesterday, first batter of the game, James Wood hits one opposite field in the left center. You know how hard it is to hit home runs at Oracle Park in San Francisco, especially opposite way for a lefty? James Wood, and I think, here's the thing, they need to keep batting him first. I love the lineup of him, then Abrams, and then everybody else, DeYoung, Bell, and whatnot. Yeah, I really like James Wood in the 1. And this is something the Nationals have tried. This is early Davey regime, and obviously Miguel Cairo is just a Davey guy, so he's going to keep doing the Davey mannerisms. But you remember 2018 where Bryce Harper was going through one of his worst slumps of the entire year? He was still an all-star that year because it was fan voting and the game was in DC and whatnot. But Harper had a really long stretch where he was batting like low 200s. He got the average up to like 212 at one point. They put him in the leadoff spot. I vividly remember him hitting a leadoff home run at Citi Field where he broke his bat in half and he still willed it over the fence in Queens. But regardless, right, the Nats have done this before with struggling players. Hell, the most notable, right, you might not think of the Bryce Harper one in 18, but also Kyle Schwarber as well, obviously in 2021. Schwarber wasn't really struggling that much, but obviously Schwarber got put in the leadoff spot, and the Phillies since have replicated that for the most part. Kyle Schwarber does hit leadoff every once in a while for them, or, sometimes obviously Trey Turner's there too, but that's been one of the things Schwarber has done now throughout his career. And obviously that, 30-game stretch at the Nationals in the summer of 21 legitimately changed Schwarber's career. He is now potentially the most valuable player this year. I think he should win it. Anyways, though, putting James Wood in the leadoff spot, I do believe helps him a lot. They put him in the leadoff spot these first 2 games in San Francisco. Again, almost hits one out in right field on Friday. And then yesterday has that monster opposite field blast. And then also rips the ball into left center field later in the game to score. I believe it was Jacob Young from second base. It was an RBI double for James Wood. That's the first multi-hit game he's had in about 2 weeks. And it's the first home run, by the way, that James Wood has hit in about a month, which sucks. But again, I'm glad he's finally finding that swing. Guys are going to go through slumps, and sure, I will 100% still blame Darnell Coles. I don't know how Darnell Coles has a job. This video isn't even about pitching, but I believe Jim Hickey should be fired as well. However, I'm glad James Wood's finding a way to do it. Average is at like 258 now. Again, that'll sort itself out once he continues to find the swing. But I think at least batting him in the leadoff spot until he completely gets going again works. Because also, CJ Abrams, love the guy. He's not a traditional leadoff hitter. He's good, but he's meant to hit behind James Wood, I believe. So in a perfect world next year, right, we get Kyle Schwarber, James Wood, and Abrams batting 1, 2, 3, and then Peter Alonso behind him. But one can hope. Glad James Wood's hitting the ball well again, though. It's what we need in DC. Anyways, Nats plus 120. Let's go on to our 4th best bet of the video, which is our best player prop of the day. Let's go to the matchup here at Petco Park. We've got the Boston Red Sox and the San Diego Padres. I'm going Brayan Bello on the over on strikeouts. It's only 3.5. Which is kind of odd, because Bello's gotten this in each of his last, 7 starts? Last time he didn't get this was back on July 1st against the Cincinnati Reds. But this is a guy who pretty easily goes over this mark. The average strikeout night for Brayan Bello this season is 5. And the line's 3.5 today. I get it. There's guys in the San Diego lineup who simply put, don't strike out. Luis Arraez, obviously. Arraez strikes out once every 3 weeks. But still, I think Bello's got good enough stuff to put away some of these Padres hitters. I mean, for comparison, we can look at the starter yesterday for Boston. It was Lucas Giolito. Giolito goes 4 2/3 and only gets 1 strikeout. But again, Giolito, not the biggest strikeout guy. He's just not. He'll have games where he gets 1 or 2 strikeouts. Bello's got way better put away stuff. I know the Padres, again, they don't strike out all that much, but simply put, okay, if Bello can get Tatis to strike out once, I'm telling you the guys he can strike out in this lineup. Tatis, Bogarts, he can get Machado. Machado's in the ball well, but he's still going to strike out. Cronenworth, Ryan O'Hearn. I mean, Giolito he didn't have a great, no, he had a horrible game. Giolito walked 6 guys yesterday. You know? Couldn't get outs, was walking everyone around the bases. What was it, 1 or 2 RBI walks he gave up? It was 2. He walked O'Hearn to drive in a run in the bottom of the 5th, walked Laureano to drive a run in as well in that same inning, and obviously yesterday was ended with the Ramon Laureano single in the bottom of the 10th after Jason Adams shut down the Red Sox in the top half of the 10th inning. We just need 4 Ks out of Brayan Bello, and look at his last, again, like 8 starts. Last start against the Royals, 6 innings, 6 hits, 1 run, 5 Ks. Twins game, 7 innings, 5 hits, 4 strikeouts. Okay. Dodgers, 5 1/3, 6 hits, 3 runs, 5 Ks. Cubs, 6 innings, 6 hits, 3 runs, and 4 strikeouts. Rays, 6 1/3, 6 hits, 1 run, 5 Ks. Rockies, in his complete game, 9 innings, 5 hits, 2 runs, and 10 strikeouts. You know, I get it. The Padres don't strike out all that much. They're a good team. I'm not going to discredit that at all. I still think we're able to get strikeouts here, though, with a pretty solid pitcher who's got a low ERA, by the way. I mean, I know, again, Bello is his automatic thing strikeouts. Like, is that the number one thing you think about? Oh, you think of Brayan Bello, you think of the Ks? No, you don't. He's just a really good pitcher who, you know, forces soft contact, ground ball pitcher for the most part. No, kinda. He is more of a pitch to contact guy, but a guy who's not going to allow hard contact. This is what Brayan Bello is. But he's still going to get 4 Ks, though. That's just such a low bar. And sure, right, the over on this line of 3.5 is the favorite, right? Minus 130 for Brayan Bello to go over the mark. Yeah, sure, he'll probably get that. But why not take advantage of it if you're us, right? I mean, we're going to go after it. I feel like it's a no-brainer. I get it, the Padres are a good team. They've got a guy in the lineup in Luis Ariz who, you know, is like the modern day, no, that's disrespectful if I call him the modern day Tony Gwynn. He's good, he's not that good. But right, he's just not going to strike out. That's just one guy in the lineup. You know, I think there's still a lot of opportunities for Brayan Bello in the lineup to get Ks. Again, Tatis in the leadoff spot. You know, the Padres are hot. I think they're a team that, you know, I'd be very surprised if they don't go to the NLCS this year. I think in a 5-game series, I'm probably taking them over the Dodgers currently. I don't think that's the matchup they get right now in the playoffs. Would it be? It would. No, they'd get the 1 seed. They get the Brewers. I'd take the Padres over the Brewers in a 5-game series, you know? So, like, if I had to map things out right now, my NLCS would be Padres, Phillies, right? Like, that's the spot where the Padres should be in. They're a good team, and they've got good guys. Tatis is having a bad year. They're not there because of Tatis right now. I know Nando wasn't bad yesterday, but he's a .255 hitter this season. Great arm, obviously. Still hits for power, but he has not been the same guy since, like, June, you know? There's strikeout potential for Brayan Bello today, and I'm not too concerned about it. I think over 3.5 is a pretty easy line for us. It's going to be minus 130 for Bello to get this one done at Petco Park in San Diego. Our final best bet of the video comes with Sunday Night Baseball. Had to find a play for this game and absolutely love it. St. Louis Cardinals money line at home. We get plus money for the Cardinals at home on Sunday Night Baseball. Yes, please. I'm going to take this. Why am I confident in the Cardinals? Well, Sonny Gray's pitching. That's it. You know? Shota Imanaga is going for Chicago. Imanaga is really good. 3.12 ERA. That ERA skyrocketed because of his horrendous start in the South Side against the Chicago White Sox. If you remember it, July 25th. 3 innings, 12 hits, 7 runs. That was really bad. And Shota has been much better in his last 2. Well, the Brewers start was just but the Brewers are good. Shota in that Brewers start in Milwaukee went 5 innings, 5 hits, 3 runs. His last start was a loss, actually, the Cincinnati Reds, but it wasn't because of Imanaga. He goes 6 1/3, 3 hits, and 1 run in that game. I look at Sonny Gray, though, as still a very good pitcher in this league. You know? Gray's still really effective. 4.21 ERA, I get it. He had 2 really bad back-to-back starts against the Padres and the Diamondbacks. He's turned it around since, and especially in his last start in Los Angeles against the Dodgers. My goodness, was Sonny Gray efficient. 7 innings, 1 hit. It was a solo home run. Sonny Gray had 8 strikeouts in that game. He had a bad month of July. Don't get me wrong. Sonny Gray's ERA in the month of July was 7.8. By far, I mean, you look at what he's done every single month this year, 3.6, 3.7 ERA, 2.5, 1.2, and then a 7.8. Just doesn't make sense. It's the literal definition of an outlier. That's okay. I think Sonny Gray's going to have a much better August than he did July, obviously. The Cardinals, I guess, again, we talked about the teams trying to fight for the playoffs. St. Louis, they are kind of there. You know, they're 4 games out, same record as the San Francisco Giants. 4 games trailing the New York Metropolitans. Again, a team that needs to, if they're going to make it, which I don't think anyone thinks the Cardinals are going to be in that spot. They traded their closer, Ryan Helsley, obviously, to the team that they are now chasing in the New York Metropolitans. But, you know, the players don't care, you know? Like, I mean, they don't care about, oh, we're supposed to tank. No, the players are going to try to win. It's a game that does mean something for them tonight. Sunday Night Baseball, national television spot, ESPN, even though everyone, you know, me and you both, we all hate the ESPN broadcast because it's the worst in baseball. Like Fox should just buy Sunday Night Baseball out from ESPN because it's just atrocious. But it's a nationally televised spot. People are watching, and I expect the Cardinals to come through. Look at the series so far, 1-1, right? Chicago wins yesterday. They win in a dominant fashion, 9-1. Friday's game, a 5-0 victory for Chicago. Now, we're hoping Brendan Donovan plays today. Brendan Donovan did not play yesterday. He was scratched at the last second due to groin tightness. We're hoping one of the better bats in the St. Louis lineup does get to play on Sunday Night Baseball. I would hope. I legitimately just don't know. And maybe that shifts the line a little bit more if he does not play. I'm still taking the Cardinals without Brendan Donovan. Brendan Donovan alone is not the reason why I wouldn't pick this team still. There are still some guys in the lineup that I absolutely just don't like. Nothing personally. Jordan Walker, to me, is just the most automatic out in baseball most of the time. Nolan Gorman's not very efficient and effective. You know, it's just, they got guys, though. Again, they've got guys. Lars Nootbaar in the leadoff spot's going to end for me, but Ivan Herrera's in the ball really well this year. Alec Burleson's obviously great. Hopefully, Brendan Donovan plays. Contreras in the lineup as well. Mason Wynn's been productive this season, not just with the arm and the glove, but offensively as well. The Cubs, don't get me wrong, have a great lineup. Michael Busch is in the ball really well post All-Star break or post deadline. Seiya Suzuki's been really good this season. Kyle Tucker obviously has been tremendous. Carson Kelly's been one of the better catchers in baseball this year. PCA's ice cold. PCA's like 1 for his last 20 with a lot of strikeouts. So there's that. PCA yesterday went 0 for 5. But they've got bats in the lineup. Don't get me wrong. I'm just going St. Louis here. I think at home, Sunday Night Baseball spot. It's hard to go on the winning road and for a nationally televised spot. It is. Shota goes through his struggles. Sonny Gray is an elite pitcher in the league. He's a good pitcher in the league, and he's an effective pitcher in the league. I don't know if I want to say elite, but I do believe Sonny Gray steps up in the big moment. You know, for as bad as yesterday's loss was for the Cardinals, losing 9-1, first game on Friday, they win 5-0, right? 2 very different games. I think St. Louis gets it here. I think Gray's going to be better than Shota tonight. And I think this Cardinals lineup will find ways to come through, whether that be a guy like Alec Burleson, whether that be an Ivan Herrera, a Contreras. You know, I think someone's going to step up in a huge way. Jordan Walker, I can guarantee you probably won't show up because he hit a home run on Friday. That just means Jordan Walker's not hitting another one for another 2 weeks. But maybe he does. You know, I hope I'm wrong. I really hope I'm wrong, and I really hope Jordan Walker demolishes a baseball today in the left field. Anyways, I'm taking the St. Louis Cardinals to cap off the night. Again, my main point on this, I just feel like Sonny Gray is going to be more effective and more efficient than Shota Imanaga. So I'm going to go with the team at home. Give me St. Louis at Busch Stadium. They are at plus 100. We'll see if that line moves, depending on where and if Brendan Donovan is in the lineup. So, folks, thank y'all for watching our MLB Best Bets here on August 10th. If you haven't yet, though, make sure to hit that subscribe button down below for more. Make sure to leave a like if you did enjoy the video. Make sure to comment if you do disagree with any of the picks. Folks, thank y'all for watching, and Mamba forever.